It is a beautiful and a wonderful day in my world. And I believe and trust it is the same thing in your world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Mensah on the Eagle Mentality Podcast program. Today is the 8th of May in the year 2024. And I take this opportunity to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of my departed wife, Eagle Helen Mensah, our co-founder, in our midst. For wherever we gather, she is a spirit, and wherever we are, whatever we are doing, she is with us every now and every moment. And so today, having done this house cleaning exercise, I move on to the topic for today. In my previous episode, that is for the 7th of May, the year 2024, I stated getting to the end that my conclusion also started. My conclusion was more or less the beginning of today's podcast. And so today I'm going to look at how our negative emotions or our emotions, both positive and negative, affects our health. And so let us begin by looking at it this way. No human being was born with any sickness. By the natural arrangement of nature, you came into this world as a pure, positive, healthy, wealthy being. You were not born poor. You were not born sick. All these things becomes part of us as soon as we land on this earth. And it is because of the mass consciousness of people who have already come before us that we are born into. So as soon as we arrive, they begin to train us and then we adapt to that line of thoughts. And even when you were in your mother's womb, that is the same thing they were talking, speaking, and everything. As a vibrational being at that time, you had access to all this. And so, health is not about what we eat, it's not about the medical equipment or health facilities that we have, but it is about our thoughts and our emotions and how we interpret this. Take yourself as a sailor in your boat or with your crew. When you start from the port, there is a big or a giant light that throws light on everything at the port. And then when you begin to sail, as you go, the more you increase the distance between you and the light, the more the light begins to fade. It begins to reduce to smaller size, and on and on and on and on, up to the point that you can only see that big light that was beaming on you just as a dot in a cloud of darkness. And even if you go further, it goes to a point that you don't see the light anymore. And that is how our life is. As I explained in my other episode, every human being, you came here as an extension of a certain powerful presence that we call God, or we call our soul, or no, soul, you see. And so you are just like the sailor, you in the physical body, your personality, and yeah, that you are in your physical body. You are like the sailor. So long as you are within the vicinity of the light at the port, there is no need to worry about darkness. There is no need to worry about anything as darkness because there is an overruling light that is taking care of you. But the moment you begin to move away, then you are losing the power of that light. And so, you as a human being, all of us, every one of us is built upon a powerful presence, a powerful spirit, a powerful energy that has individualized in himself or itself into every one of us. And so long as you remain connected with this power or your source, everything good comes to you. And as I've already mentioned, God has no concept about sickness. God has no concept about anything that we call ill health or whatever. The only thing in the calculation of God is good health because God cannot even think of being sick. So sickness and illness comes as a result of us breaking or disturbing the relationship that we have with our parent self, that is God. And that is through thinking. And so when you actually live and you have this understanding that what you eat does not matter about your health, but what you think and the way you look at things, the definition you look at it, the way you process things has more to do with your health. Then you have the key to life. Then you can live a prosperous and a wonderful life. For you are connected to the stream of well-being. God is the source of well-being and it's flowing. It is just like a river or a stream. And so long as you are on this stream, flowing in the direction of the stream, you enjoy the current of the stream and nothing to worry about. There is no pain, there is no suffering. But the moment you turn your canoe or you turn whatever you are traveling on against the flow of the river or the stream, then confusion begins to uh, come into the equation. And that is how it is with you. Good health. Everything that you need to set to live perfectly as a human being is in the source that you are connected to. And so long as you don't disconnect, you don't disturb the connection between you and your source, there can never be anything as illness. And if you look at what human beings we have been doing, the more we discover new ways of treating the diseases and sicknesses, the more new ones comes in. And so if you go back into history, yeah, people will argue that medicine has helped us to wipe out polio and other things. Yeah, it is true. But the fact is that as soon as we get that thing and we focus our attention on, then we begin to actually emotionalize and create a new one. So as soon as a new disease comes up, then we take our consciousness from that and we place it on the new one. And since we forget the old one, it begins to go. And also, because we have created medication and other things, when people place 100% faith in that medication, yes, it will work. But it is not the medication that is doing the work, but it is because people have used the medication as a point of contact to connect themselves, to think of faith, to think of positivity, to think of hope of getting healed. And therefore, all these diseases disappeared. But the problem or the puzzle that we all have to figure out is why is it that the more we get advanced in health or scientific treatment, scientific process of healing and doing all these things, the more we get new diseases, new diseases. We've just had COVID-19, and now COVID-19 has been downgraded to another level that it is just like a common flu that everyone is happening. So now it is the attention, the fear that was poured on COVID-19 is now being reduced. And as we go, we have already created a new one. By the time we realize a new kind of sickness has already appeared. So we are doing a catch-up, and all is because we are not listening to how we are feeling individually and collectively as a group of people called humanity. If we become conscious of the fact that we are connected to the stream of well-being, and this stream of well-being is flowing every time, just as air and everything is flowing around us. And we only have to adapt to it. We only have to open up to it and flow with that well-being stream. Everything in our life will be perfect. You will live and live long. But we have already been indoctrinated into this. So this is the time that we have to become awakened to all of this. You are an individual. You have your right to change your life. I'm not against medicine, but I'm telling you that medicine is not the key. If it is really the key, then we shouldn't be having all these problems that we're having. It's like the moment the solution for one disease is discovered, another disease pops up. The moment this one is discovered, another one pops up. Why is it so? It's because we are creating tension. And so your emotions are the cause of your good or bad health. And you can actually think about this and prove this practically with yourself. If you're a little bit abreast with how people develop this kind of depression, anxiety, and all those things. How does it come about? It comes about as just a simple thought. Maybe the person is working in an environment and the pressure that is coming, the person is not able to handle it. Instead of looking at it from the higher perspective, the person is entertaining it as fear. So a simple thing at work begins as fear. Then it goes worry. Worry grows into anxiety. Anxiety grows into depression. And then depression on and on and on. So you will see that it is the same as a sailor traveling from the port, away from the light, into the darkness. In the same thing that is happening, whatever you are going through, if you don't want to get yourself into trouble, throw those things away. Look at it from the positive side and begin to feel happy. Begin to make yourself happy. And as soon as you continue to do this, you could never fall into any kind of sicknesses, because sicknesses is a kind of tension that we create. It's an evidence of the tension that we create between ourselves in the physical and ourselves in the non-physical. And so your emotions is the number one thing that you have to look at. And that is why even if you go to the hospital, you go and see a doctor, why do they have to speak to you? They try to put your mind in a certain frame such that the medication they are suggesting, you accept it. And the moment you come into that state of mind, the medication is not necessarily healing you, but that peace of mind that you've created, you are connected to the source of well-being. And then you begin to see all improvement in your life. It is the same thing in every situation. When you go to church, when you go to religious places, why is the Christianity in particular, why is it that the preacher man has to preach to you before they pray for you? They prepare your mind. It is not the words that the preacher man is saying over you that is healing you, but it is the faith. It is the belief that you establish on the words that the person is saying. They have been saying words over and over people. Only a few people get their healing, and majority goes without, because the majority have not been able to connect to the stream of well-being. If it is just the prayer, the pronunciation, the pronouncement of the pastor or the leader that is doing the heal, then everyone should have gotten his or her healing. But the fact that only a few people get the healing comes to the point that, or brings us to the point that it is about individual affair, and it is about how you open up to the stream of well-being that you are connected to. And so, do not pay much attention to what you eat or whatever thing that you surround yourself with as the source of your good health, but pay much attention to how you are feeling, your thought process. Anytime that you are feeling bad, anything that you are not feeling good about, be wise enough and take your mind off. The moment you begin to sit on it, it grows. And the moment it grows, it gathers momentum. And as the momentum increases, it got to a point that it's a point of no return. You can't do anything about it. So our existence is a matter of intelligence. And to live is more or less a science. And the science is what I'm sharing with you. You do not have to preoccupy yourself with medication. You do not have to put your trust in medical science or whatever. They are good and they have their places in that, but the fact is that they are only patching you up. The real issue is not done, because the issue is coming from within you. And until you change your thought process, until you change your beliefs about health, and know that there is a huge presence, there is a body of well-being. Just as we have a body of air flowing everywhere, the air that I'm experiencing in Canada here is the same air that those in Tanzania, Ghana, anywhere they are experiencing. There has never been a day that there has been a shortage of air for people to breathe in. In the same way, there can never be a day that there will be shortage of well-being. But it all depends upon, or the shortage will come in your life only when you are blocking the flow of the well-being. If you block your nostrils, you know for a fact that you can no longer breathe in the air that keeps you and what you go on is self-destruction. It is the same thing. If you begin to think along the lines of the present, the God that you are made of, and look at everything from the positive side, see everyone as good, see every situation as good, and begin to work yourself in that direction that so long as you are here, you have a backing, or you have the universe has your back, and therefore anything that comes is of no use. Therefore, your preoccupation is to be in tune with God or with the universe. Then you have the key to success, the key to life. Then you have the key to life. So long as you keep yourself away from the source of well-being, you become a patching bag. That today you go, they patch you here, tomorrow you go, they will patch you there, tomorrow you go, they'll patch you there, tomorrow you go, they'll patch you there. It doesn't solve the problem because the problem is in you. And therefore, be wise. I am not saying that medicine is not good. It has its own place. So if you take medicine from the right perspective, then you benefit from it. The fact is that if human beings, right from the beginning, if we have actually been awakened to what we are made of, then we don't even need medicine. These are all the creation of human beings trying to make ourselves good. But it comes down to the bottom line that there is a source that we are all linked to. And so long as your tap is open to that source, there can never be a situation that you will be shortage of, or you have shortage of water. In the same way, there is a body of air that is blowing over every one of us. So long as your nostrils, your airwaves are open, there can never be shortage of air for you to breathe in. That is the same thing, wealth. That is the wealth is actually a combination of good health and all the material things you can think of. Good health is abound, is flowing around us everywhere. So long as we do not block the connection between us and us, you and yourself in the non-physical, and allow all these things to flow into your experience, we will not experience all that we call sicknesses. We are born into it. We are already been indoctrinated with it. But you can live above some of these things and have a perfect and a beautiful life. And I will end by the words of Jesus Christ, invoking the words of Jesus Christ, that it is not what goes into a man that defiles a person, or a man or woman that defiles the person, but it is that which comes out of him or her. And that is what Jesus Christ was putting across. Your diseases, your sicknesses and other things, humanity's collective diseases and other things are not about what we are taking in. It's not about what we are eating as food and other things, but it is about how we are processing things from within and the energy that we emit into the universe. And that goes on to create our reality collectively as humanity and individually as you and I and everyone. And so that is the message I have for you. Be wise. Take control of your thinking. Take control of your mind. Sicknesses and diseases are evidence of tension between you and you. You in the physical and you in the spiritual or in the energy field. And the moment you take control of this, you have the answers to all your health problems. This is my message for you. And as I've always been doing, I say, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars from falling on us and keeps the planets in their orbit such that they do not clash with one another. But there is perfect harmony in the universe. Everything, there is perfect harmony. That you'll be guided and led to this harmony. And as soon as you establish this harmony between you and you, the perfection that we find in the universe will reflect in your own life, such that you have a very beautiful, very sustaining good health, such that which is actually your natural being. The natural state of every human being is to be healthy. The natural state of every human being is wealthy. And wealth embodies both health and material things. Thank you, and God bless you.